Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our inquisitive viewers, Emily Grace 92. Thanks for the suggestion, Emily. You asked, why are wedding rings worn on the left ring finger? It's a great question because, let's face it, the left ring finger isn't exactly the MVP of fingers. So why does it get the honor of hosting such a symbol of love and commitment? Is there some ancient wisdom behind it? Or did someone just point and say, that one'll do? Stick around as we unravel the romantic myths, practical reasons, and quirky history that made this finger the star of weddings everywhere, right here on Explaining Everything. Let's kick things off with a romantic idea that's about as accurate as Cupid's aim after a glass of wine. The ancient Romans believed the left ring finger contained the vena amoris, or vein of love, directly connecting the finger to the heart. Cute, right? This poetic notion gave the ring its sentimental placement. However, modern anatomy says, hold my scalpel. No such exclusive vein exists. Your fingers are a tangled freeway of blood vessels, none of which get VIP treatment to the heart. But hey, let's not ruin the Roman vibe. It's a solid story, and who doesn't love a little pseudoscience with their romance? If we're being practical, and let's face it, most traditions aren't, it makes sense to wear the ring on the left hand because most people are right-handed. Imagine trying to hammer, write, or swipe on your phone with a shiny new ring scratching everything in sight. The left hand, typically less dominant, became the go-to for minimizing wear and tear on the precious metal and, possibly, your nerves. Historically, this made sense when rings weren't just symbols of eternal love, but also major financial investments. Losing a diamond because you're ambidextrous at juggling. No thanks. Not everyone around the world agrees with the left-hand ring rule. In some countries, like Germany, Russia, and India, the right hand is the star of the show. Why? In many cultures, the right hand is considered auspicious or stronger. Basically, the Beyoncé of hands. Meanwhile, the left hand was often seen as less favorable. Left-handedness was even associated with witchcraft at one point. So if you're left-handed, congrats! You would have been accused of sorcery and also avoided a ring tan line. Religion and tradition also play a role here. In Christian ceremonies during medieval times, priests often touch 3 fingers while reciting a blessing for the Holy Trinity. The final touch? You guessed it, on the left-hand ring finger. Boom! Tradition cemented. Thanks, Middle Ages, for giving us the same rituals and plagues. Fast forward to the Protestant Reformation, when wedding rings gained popularity as a symbol of marital commitment. Before that, they were mostly for royalty and the ultra-rich. For everyone else, eternal love was expressed through, I don't know, probably livestock or really nice pottery. For something that's supposed to symbolize unity, wedding rings on the left hand actually have a rebellious backstory. In 16th century England, when Catholicism and Protestantism were playing theological tug-of-war, the hand you wore your ring on could indicate your religious allegiance. Left for Protestants, right for Catholics. Imagine choosing your faith based on jewelry placement. It's like religious Tinder, but for fingers. Here's a fun, slightly morbid twist. Scientists have found that the left hand particularly the ring finger, might actually be more symbolic than we give it credit for. A study showed this finger often has the most sensitivity to touch. So when you slip on that ring, it's like giving your finger a gentle hug. But also, this could be why some people freak out when the ring feels too tight. Commitment is one thing, but finger claustrophobia, hard pass. Despite the science, history, and cultural quirks, the tradition of the left-hand ring finger persists for one main reason. People love a good story. Whether it's the heartwarming but fake vein of love or centuries-old religious symbolism, the idea of a special finger dedicated to eternal love is too charming to resist. Plus, wedding photographers need an excuse to zoom in on those freshly manicured fingers. Now, let's talk about modern couples. Some don't care about left or right, finger or no finger. Wedding ring tattoos are a thing now for those who really like the idea of permanence. And let's not forget the folks who skip the ring entirely, because who needs a small metal hoop to prove their love when they have matching Netflix accounts? So there you have it. Wedding rings are worn on the left-hand ring finger because of ancient myths, religious traditions, and a dash of practicality. It's a habit that has survived wars, cultural shifts, and countless clumsy left-handed toasts. Whether you're into the symbolism or just in it for the bling, remember this: the real magic isn't in the ring, it's in the commitment it represents. And if you ever find yourself questioning this age-old tradition, just remember, the left-hand ring finger is probably thrilled it got chosen. Otherwise, it's just the finger that awkwardly holds your phone while you scroll. If you enjoyed learning about why wedding rings are worn on the left ring finger, give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who loves a good love story. And if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.